Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Billy Donovan and our basketball program. What a great game last night. Great example of competing and playing defense and coming together for a common purpose. And that was exciting to watch. We'll certainly be pulling for them tomorrow. And then, I did miss Monday. We had two other guys that have been out. Our last time, when's the last time we met? Tuesday? Okay. Yeah. I'm sure y'all have missed me. Kedrick Johnson sprained a knee, and he probably will miss the rest of spring. And Mike Gillisley right now has got a stretch fracture on his foot, but he's fine, and we're going to probably hold him to a certain point. And but those are the only injuries we have, including with Jay Howard. So that's where we are right now. We've got a coaches clinic going on. We've got a great turnout. Just trying to give back to the high school coaches. Do a phenomenal job. You look back in your coaching career or playing career of the people that certainly touched your life, and all of those high school coaches do a phenomenal job. So we're great to have them in town.
How's Ronald Powell doing at that new position above?
Good. I mean, there's there's a hybrid position from the standpoint of being a defensive end and an outside linebacker. So from the drop standpoint, he got a little bit of that last year. Playing with your hand down and playing from a stand-up position is something that I think comes very natural to him, and I've been very pleased with his progress to this point in 6 practices.
How big of a deal is it for guys who get injured during spring? How much do you feel it sets them back, or does it at this time of year?
Well, I mean, it sets them back from the standpoint of our evaluation process. I mean, you got to get on film. You got to play the game in order to improve. Spring is very important to me and our staff from the standpoint of, number one, and right now, and being in our first year of installing our schemes. You've got to get things installed. You've got to go through the installation process, and you only can do that with playing fastball in this league, and going against people and scrimmaging and learning how to practice the right way and learning the work ethic and the things you got to do to be successful. So it's critical to me for an evaluation standpoint of guys go through spring.
Coach, on Gilsey, are you going to keep them limited in practice, or are you going to keep them out of practice for spring?
Well, at this point, what we've done with several guys, and depending on case by case, we've used some guys some different ways, is they're getting all of the meeting work, they're getting all of the walkthrough work, which we do a pretty extensive walkthrough before practice as far as mental reps are concerned. It's not a fast-paced tempo. And then we've taken a lot of guys and put them back in the weight room and lifted while reps, because they're getting the film the next day, so they're seeing the film. So we want to continue to have guys progress from a strength standpoint of other parts of their body if they do have some sort of injury. And so it's been kind of a case-by-case situation. If a guy's limited in practice, can rep some but not the full practice, we keep them on the field. If they're not, then we've been putting them back in the weight room and put them with our strength staff.
How do you feel about the job Gerald Christian's doing at linebacker?
Gerald's playing both ways for us right now. He's playing tight end and a linebacker. And he can be a good player at the point at tight end, and he's doing a nice job at linebacker. And again, he's going through a learning process, as we all are right now, from the standpoint of we're all freshmen again. They're going through that learning curve right now.
How's Mac Brown and Chris Randy progressing in the new pro style?
Well, I think Chris has had a phenomenal spring. Here's a guy that's a senior, played a lot of football, some really good football for the Gators, and he has really worked his tail off as far as day-to-day going in and doing things you got to do to be successful. He really enjoys getting the ball deeper in the backfield to have a chance for his vision. He's got great cutback ability. You've got to be very gap sound defensively when he's carrying the football. He can take the ball all the way back. So, really pleased with his progress. And Mac's done some nice things for us, again, as far as the learning curve is concerned within the offense, as far as the protections and things, we've got to do a better job.
What kind of changes do you have to make for the running backs as they're switching offenses?
Well, I think you're getting the ball deeper at times when the quarterback's under center. So there's a different angle hitting the line of scrimmage, more downhill running game. Protections are a little bit more as far as what we've put on them that I think they've been used to. So those are the things that are really different. As much as anything, the running style downhill, a little bit more with the lead back concerned as far as just a pulling lineman. So those are the things that are a little different.
Do you have any other players playing on both sides besides Christian?
Not right now, but again, as we continue to progress through spring, our job as a coaching staff is to get the best 11 on the field. And so you've got to look at different combinations. We're looking at John Harrison at center at some. We've moved shuffled some guys because at the end of the day, we're going to have injuries. That's part of the game. So you've got to prepare for that as a coach. So you can't just put a guy and plug a guy in because he's the backup. You've got to go to the next plan to get the best 5 on the field in the offensive line, getting the best 4 in the secondary, get the best 3 at linebacker or 2 or whatever combination you're in from a substitution standpoint. So that being said, that's why we cross-train guys at different positions. And right now, Gerald's the only guy that we're working on both sides, but we've got several guys learning multiple positions in the offensive line, on defense, at receiver, that are playing different spots.
Could Rainey see some time at receiver too, do you think, or do you want him focused on running back?
Well, within what we do, you know, Charlie's whole philosophy is get the ball in playmakers' hands and create matchups. So, you know, Chris will be spread all throughout the field as far as slot, outside, depending on how people want to play us defensively. He presents issues. You match a linebacker up on him, you got a matchup problem. Well, if you put a secondary guy on him, generally we will gain a matchup somewhere else. So he makes you show your hand defensively a little bit.
Per request, and a little unrelated to spring, but is Jacoby Brissett being, is there any limitations on him playing basketball, or is he still being allowed to play basketball?
Well, yeah, not to this point. Billy's been a little bit busy. So we haven't had a whole lot of conversation, but in the recruiting process, that door is open for Jacoby, and we're going to let him make that decision. So once we get done with spring and Billy gets done winning the whole thing there, we'll sit down and talk about it.
Couple more questions.
But I guess there's no restrictions from your end that you don't want him to play. That's what you're saying.
No, you know, again, he and I, we've talked about the dynamics of that as well as Billy, and we've been very honest and forthright with that situation. And it's hard, especially at that position. But we've also told Jacoby from the beginning, if that's something he wants to do, then we'll certainly make the accommodations to make sure it happens. He's a fine young man, and academically he's very strong. I mean, he's going to have all of the intangible things to be successful to do both. But, you know, again, where do you draw the line as far as, you know, where is his ceiling going to be as a player playing both sports in college? Because it's very difficult. And I've had guys do it. I've been a part of that as an assistant coach. You know, so those are the things I think we've got to really explore. And when we get everybody has a little bit more time on their hands, we'll probably sit down with Jacoby and make those decisions. And that'll be a decision that he'll make with our input.
Will, I had a caller today ask if the Wildcat formation would be part of your offense. Is that something that could be on the table?
Well, I think certainly if you look at you know, how we're progressing here offensively in the run game, and there's a lot of carryover in the run game, and something that we have talked about. But again, that'll be something that we gotta buy a ticket and see.